Well, guys, the PGA Tour is headed to Austin, and the LIV is in Orlando for the final tune-up before the Masters. I can't wait for next week's podcast, but on this week's podcast, we're going to give you everything you need to know about the Valero, some hidden gems here, maybe a little talk on what Nate's been itching to get at, Ricky Fowler. Let's recap the Dell first, Nate. Tell us what we need to know about the Dell.
Yeah. Thanks for having me back, Brett.
Yeah.
This has been good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. We need to have a drinking game where you drink every time I say, yeah. That would be the best, I think. You might
Dude,
get
we
drunk.
should do that. That's awesome. Yeah. Back to you, Nate.
That
Yeah.
episode of How I Met Your Mother where Robin, she was like a news anchor, and they would have a drinking game where every time she would say, but like it was just a verbal crutch that she had. Mine is, yeah. Anyway, the Dell match play. A bit anticlimactic at the end. You had Sam Burns and Cameron Young, two names, I guess, decent players or whatever, but the firepower was in the consolation match, which was Scotty Scheffler and Ricky Fowler. Not Ricky Fowler. I'm telling you, that's where my mind is. Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. That'd be Rory McIlroy. The championship match ended. I think Burns won at like 5-4,
dude.
Which is just. I think they probably just ran. Cam Young probably just ran out of gas.
Well, and I want to find it here really quick. Guess how many birdies? So they only played 13 holes. Guess how many birdies Sam had on his final round in 13 holes?
Okay, here's the thing. I watched it, but that's not going to change the fact that I don't remember. In 13 holes, I'm going to guess 8.
It was 8. 13 holes, 8 birdies, dude. The guy was just insane on the end. He only had 1 bogey and the rest were pars. It was crazy.
And do you remember when we recorded on Wednesday that the tournament started Wednesday because of the match play and they did 3 rounds of pool play or whatever, and we were looking at Cam Young's card that day, and you went through it and you were like 3, 3, 3. Here's a par 5, still a 3, 3. You know what I mean? It was just like these guys were just on fire. It's no wonder that these guys were in the championship, So tell me what you think of match play, because this is the end of the WGCs. It's the end of Austin Country Club for now. It's the end of match play on the PGA Tour, other than obviously like the Cups.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. As long as we got the Ryder Cup, which is 6 months away, counting it down. I mean, match play is fun, but I don't know. Does it do it for the guys on the tour? Does it do it for me? I didn't watch much of it. I caught the highlights. I think everyone was Scotty and Rory. That was kind of what everyone was kind of hoping for. But it was all right. It was all right.
Yeah, what I think is a problem is see, drink up. I can't not do it. What I think is a problem is that when I play in league, when you play, I don't know, some sort of money game with your buddies every Sunday morning or Saturday morning or whatever it is, it's match play. We don't play stroke play. You're 1 up, I'm 1 up. That's how it works. Like, we play that game. We like that game. Golf, I think, was actually designed back in the old Tom Morris days to be just beat the guy in front of you. I don't care if you win with an 8. The point is you beat him. You know what I mean? It wasn't, putting your score together in 4 rounds and whatever. So, I don't know. I just like it. And I think you're right. As long as the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup are around, which that President's Cup is getting pretty depleted these days with all of those international guys going to live. But as long as we get a couple of situations where we can still watch the match play, I think that kind of keep the juices flowing. I do want to come back to this in a little bit about match play. Should we just go to it now? Should we just keep on the match play topic now?
I don't know how much time you want to spend on it because we got a lot to talk about with Valero and all these guys that need to make the field and stuff. But yeah, we can make it real quick.
Yeah, just quickly here. We watched Justin Thomas and Justin Rose both decide to make this the elevated event that they skipped. Right? Granted, Justin Thomas, we saw him play Valspar, which was odd after all of that long run of elevated events. But I can see where this is the one he takes off because it's not 4 rounds. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then 36 on Saturday, 36 on Sunday. 2 weeks ahead of the Masters. Like, it's 7 rounds if you get to the championship match. That's a lot of golf. Like, that's the kind of thing that you might not want to do after that long run of designated events. I totally get why this is the one that they would take off. And Rory, a fairly frequent no-show. He has won it in the past, but he also doesn't show up from time to time too. And now that it's designated, he skipped, what was it, the Tournament of Champions or whatever, that first one. He had to play in this one. Also, like you said, 13 holes with Sam Burns and Cam Young. What does that mean for coverage? You know what I mean? Like, they set aside 4 hours, and so the match ends on 13, or after the 13th hole. So, like, what do they do for the remaining, hour of coverage or so, 14 to 18? It just match play isn't great for the broadcast. And thank goodness we had some firepower in the third place match, with 2 big names. But what if they were flip-flopped and Scotty beat Rory in 13 holes? And then we get to watch Cam Young and Sam Burns play for third. Like, who cares? We don't want to watch that. So it's not great for them. So goodbye WGCs, goodbye match play for now. Austin Country Club's kind of a cool course. They had a pretty sweet short par 4 that I put out on Instagram, like a water that took up the left side of the hole, and the fairway kind of ran along the right side of the hole, but it was only like 275. So, like, if you wanted to take a driver out there, you could, but you risked water. So just kind of a neat, do I go for it, do I not? Short par 4, which I've kind of made it pretty clear that those are some of my favorites. So Austin Country Club's a cool place. I think I'll just wrap up with this because what's a podcast without a Tiger Woods stat? WGCs are wrapping up. It's the only event that has been defended by any single player has been defended 8 times by Tiger Woods. It's insane. He's won this thing 8 times. Like the WGC events, and now they're just gone, and this will sort of forever live in Tiger Woods lore. So anyway, cool event. Might be time to just wrap it up, though, especially with 7 rounds in a week. 7 competitive rounds, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, they're not 4 rounds, but most of them.
Right, potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, right.
So moving into the Valspar Valero, I keep on getting these. Can we space out the letters a little bit too? I mean, the Valero Texas Open. You got some names here, some storylines that I think I didn't even think of that are very, very interesting.
Right, Joel Damon. Did you see that there?
Right.
Yeah. Joel Damon, who sort of deep golf fans may not have known until the Full Swing documentary, but after having seen that, I think his story's awesome. Everything about him.
He seems like such a cool guy. Like, that's a guy. He's like so modest. Like, that's the guy you want to win. That's the guy I want to root for.
And that's it. He needs a win here to get into the Masters, but he's got the game for it. Everyone around him, if you saw that episode, his caddy thinks he's got the game. Max Homa thinks he's got the game. Everyone thinks he has the game if he decides to just go do it. So I would love to see it. Kevin Chappell is a previous Valero Texas Open winner and is not currently in the Masters, but someone with some confidence, some familiarity with the place. It seems like a decent bet. Cole Hammer and Pearson Coody are both Texas guys. I think why not ride that wave? See what happens. Home field advantage. I left a name off that list, and you need to eat some crow because we're gonna go to it right now. That man's name is Ricky Fowler, and I've got some stats for you that you need to hear and should appreciate. So let's get to it. 2022, June 2022, 145th in the world. August 2022 says, you know what, Caddy? I got to make some moves. Guy's name was Joe Scavron. Don't feel bad for Joe Scavron. He's on Tom Kim's bag now. Not such a bad gig. January 14th of 23 moves up to 120 or 106th in the world. February of 2023 gets back with Butch Harmon. Butch Harmon, Tiger Woods, Adam Scott. I mean, he's got some pedigree to him. February 19th of 23 is up to 72nd in the world. March 12th, 59th in the world. That's 86 spots in 9 months. 86 spots in 9 months. He needed the quarterfinals at Dell to get into the top 50 to qualify for the Masters. And all he needs to do is win Valero, and he's in. Have you looked at the field? Do you know where he's at in the power rankings? Number 2.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to think right now. My head is spinning. I'm trying to follow along with links here and stuff like that, and we're all of a sudden we're on Valero Open's field, and I'm looking at Byung Han An and Ryan Armour. I was lost. I was so lost.
I was fired up. Literally,
yeah, dude.
Like, I started thinking about this on like Thursday. I was like, wait, because we recorded Wednesday. On Thursday, I was like, wait a minute. This guy's got a real chance. Wait a minute. He's up this many points in the ranks. And I started doing some research. I was like, oh, I'm going at Brett on the next podcast. I can't wait.
So here it says, Ricky Fowler's number 1 in the power ranking. It's fair that the current narrative is that he's not yet eligible for the Masters, but that it's a narrative at all speaks to a reemergence of constantly strong form. 9 straight paydays upon arrival include 6 top 20s generated by a balanced attack. 2 tied 17s at Valero.
A decent showing at Valero. I don't know. I honestly, I'm not sure he's going to get the Masters.
Look at these names, dude.
On the power rankings.
Ugh.
It's not a who's who. I'll tell you that much. I don't know. I mean,
even if you win this, you know how hard it would be to go back. You win this and then go to the Masters and have even a top 5 finish. And oh God, I can't wait to talk about the Masters with all the LIV players going there, dude. Oh my God, it's so jacked. It's gonna be so awesome just watching these guys golf with. Oh my God, I hope Billy Horschel gets paired up with Ian Poulter, so you can watch some people drop gloves on the 17th hole just because they're annoyed of each other by the time they get to the last hole. It's gonna be some Happy Gilmore stuff. Anyways, we'll save that for next week.
Yes, let's do that. I got some stuff for that too.
Yep.
So I'm definitely. I know it's hard not to get ahead of ourselves. But as I look at the power rankings, Corey Connors is a name that stands out to me. Not so much because he needs a win, and I think he's gonna win here. But he's shown up at the Masters a couple times. This could be a cool tune-up for him because he's played well at Augusta before. So any other names there in the top, what is it, 15 that stand out to you?
I mean, other than Ricky, Cam Davis, Matt Kuchar. God, was Fred Couples on here?
55 years old.
Not really. I mean, Ricky Fowler, Corey Connors, Cam Davis. I mean, those are kind of the ones that I was reading about and kind of seeing their stories and stuff like that. But outside of those guys right there, I won't be watching this. I will just be looking at the highlights on it. If I check my phone and my widget, the PGA Tour widget, shows me Ricky Fowler in the top 3, and come Saturday, I'd probably turn it on Sunday and see what's going on. But
right, I mean, I think watching Ricky close one out would be kind of cool, because I don't know, you just heard what I laid out. It is a cool story. It'd be cool if he won one, to kind of make that comeback.
Yeah, and now LIV is in Orlando. They're in Florida.
At Orange County National, I knew zero. I didn't even know this course existed. Like, zero about this course.
Well, I'm glad they're starting to get some recognition, because, man, what LIV is doing for the people of Orlando is just terrific.
Shine a light on some cool spots.
There's Disney.
There's Universal Studios.
Yeah. There's, I believe it or not, Kissimmee is just south of there, and there's some really good bass fishing there.
There's Epcot. I don't know. Is Epcot there? I'm just throwing stuff out there. We're just starting naming cool stuff about Orlando. I don't know.
Yeah.
They have a pro basketball team.
They have a Ripley's Believe It or Not there, and believe it or not, I have been there. To that one specifically.
I think there's probably a B-Dubs.
That's not cool, man. I'd rather have Applebee's wings. They're better.
Actually, I don't disagree with you. Buffalo Wild Wings are overrated.
Yeah, they are. The only thing they got going is the flavors, dude. The flavors are money, dude. I always order a thing of blazing, too, dude. I love me some good blazing.
Oh, man. I can't. I won't do it. I just won't do it. I won't put myself through that.
Yeah, I ordered 10 of them, and I split them with the guy at work. It's good. I love a little heat.
Did you think when you logged on to this podcast today that the hottest take we'd have is that Applebee's wings are better than Buffalo Wild Wings?
Dude, someone fight us in the chat. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, they're the meatiest wings ever, and those things are terrific. I'm sure they're probably microwaved in the back. They show up to Applebee's frozen, and they're just microwaved. But whoever, I don't know what kind of microwave they're using or wherever these wings come from. God.
You're right, though. You're absolutely
now,
right.
Here's the question. Are you a blue cheese guy or are you a ranch guy?
That is not a question. The answer is blue cheese.
Oh, my. Yes, I'm there. I am there with you. These kids nowadays with their ranch, their Hidden Valley Ranch, get out of here. Have some class. Jeez. Oh, my God.
Right.
The chunkier the better. The older the better, man. Oh.
Uh-huh. Throw a little celery in there.
Mouth is watering.
It's good. Maybe we do a live show from an Applebee's.
Oh, they'd have to pay us.
Get some wings. Yeah. They would. They'd have to pay us. So Applebee's, hit us up. We would appreciate that. Because these have been free ads. This is a free ad for Applebee's.
Free plug. Yeah. So if you want to compare wings, check out Applebee's over Buffalo Wild Wings there.
Yes. Hey, should we get back to the
yeah. Now that I'm hungry.
A couple of things that I was just processing as I was looking at LIV Orlando and all this stuff. We just talked about Valero and these guys who can qualify for the Masters if they win Valero, and if Ricky gets to the quarterfinals of the Dell and he can get into the Masters. LIV doesn't have that luxury. Like, this event isn't going to qualify them for the Masters. You know what I mean? It's not like you can win this event and get into the Masters, because they're not sanctioned as part of whatever. So these guys who are in the majors are sort of riding the coattails of their previous accomplishments. They have to kill it in the majors to keep playing in them, to keep climbing up the world rankings, because these are the only world ranking points events that they play in at this point, which I wrote on here. It feels like sort of a slow burn of a way to cast the LIV guys away into obsolescence. I mean, just you look at how far DJ's fallen. He just is becoming obsolete. It's just a way to sort of shut down those guys. It's like it's going to take time, but it's like exactly what they're trying to do. And it puts a guy like Taylor Gooch in a tricky spot because he currently sits 50th in the world, which means that he's in the Masters on the number, right? And with his contract ending after this season with LIV, I gotta believe he's freaking out a little bit.
I don't know. It sucks that it can't coexist, and I mean we can get into that whole thing again, and that these guys' careers are just essentially just trying to be squeezed out. But I mean, it's just a never-ending story. Have you ever seen that movie, Never-Ending Story?
No, I have not seen it. Who's in it?
Dude, this movie, oh my god, this movie is from, if I'm gonna guess, Never-Ending Story, 83. And
we should do a movie pod that I'll just like ask you questions about. And you just
84, dude, nice. Price is Right rules. I'm taking home both showcases. Let's go. 84.
Yeah. Never, like, who's in it? What's it? I don't know.
83% on Rotten Tomatoes, bro. It's a fantasy film, co-written and directed by Wolfgang Peterson. It's about a boy who basically goes into the stream world. It's terrific. It's a never-ending story. But anyways, yeah, that's LIV and PGA Tour and Billy versus Ian and Rory versus Phil, and it's no one wants to hear more about LIV PGA stuff. So the guys, I know I think these guys in LIV that are relevant, that are still golfing, are still going to place high at the Masters to keep their world rankings. At these hopefully the 4 events to keep their rankings up to where they need to be, because they still play quality golf. There's no way you're not going to see Cam Smith, not at every single one of these majors, because the guy is just an awesome golfer, and I hope he wins it. I hope the top 5 are all LIV guys. It would be awesome if Phil won it, the Masters. I pray that Phil, I'll say a prayer tonight for him that I hope he wins it, just to spite everyone there. It would be awesome. You know what would be awesome? A playoff hole. Tiger, Rory, and Phil. And Phil birdies it, and both those guys bogey it. Oh.
Wait, are you saying your prayer?
I'm done.
Your prayer right now?
No, I'm just breathing. Just trying to breathe.
If Phil was a PGA Tour guy, if he's a LIV guy, whatever the case is, it's over for Phil. Like,
no, it's not, dude. Freddie Couples is still, and Phil won the Masters multiple times.
Yeah, and he's the oldest guy to ever win a major at the PGA Championship at Key West. Like, I know.
He's going to be there. You're going to see that guy golf forever until he can't golf anymore.
He's going to go 76, 76, and just be gone.
And not make the
cut. I'd like to backtrack a little bit and say that I absolutely agree with you. I don't care where Scott Vincent and Henny Duplessis end up out of the LIV Tour, to be honest with you. No offense to them. They're very good golfers, all good things. But a major without Dustin Johnson, a major without Cam Smith.
And I don't know why everyone hates Bryson DeChambeau so much.
And like, I was hesitant to even bring that's what gave me pause just now. But I in a sense, a major without him and even Brooks Koepka's like
Sergio. You forgot him.
Yeah, no,
there's a lot of good names, dude. Didn't Sergio win the Masters twice?
Once.
One time.
Okay. Yep. 2018 probably. But just you need. It's really just too bad that those guys, that they're not all playing on the same tour, because it makes the tour stronger when Dustin Johnson's there. And so we get that here next weekend. Well, whatever it is, 2 weekends from now. And it's just important to have those guys there. And so I do hope that they play well, because I want to see good golf. Ultimately, that's what I want to see. But it just feels like they're being squeezed right out of this, because in theory, let's say Dustin Johnson misses the cut, and then give it another year, he drops more in the world rankings, and pretty soon he's not even the top 50. He won that fall Masters, the COVID Masters, so he's in it. He's in the Masters for a lifetime. But there's gonna be guys who just wash away and that deserve to be there.
Is it fair to say that the Masters is probably the most watched golf event?
I think so, because it's kind of a coming out of winter event. For most of the rest of the country. In theory, we should be coming out of winter. It's the entry point to golf season. It's green. It's super green grass. It's the azaleas blooming. It's all the things about golf that the whole upper part of the country, the whole northern part of the country, has missed for months. Uh, Gary Player just said this week that he thinks it goes Open Championship, U.S. Open, PGA Championship, and then the Masters as far as ranking. So there are differing opinions, but just for so much of the northern part of the country, it's just sort of we come out of hibernation a little bit, and I think that's what gives it some of its allure too.
Now I'm going to go out on a stretch here, coming to the end of this podcast. I think next week maybe we should do 3 podcasts. Do like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday podcast. Short ones. And maybe do 2 players in each one that we think have a good chance at winning it. Why we think they have a good chance at winning it. And then our last one end with a... just kind of about the course history. Our normal stuff. I can do a LIV guy. You can do a PGA guy.
Yeah, cool. Because the answer is Max Homa. Just saying.
I think that was a yeah.
Drink up, drink up. It's the answer. The answer. God, I don't know. I want to say Rory's got a little bit of juice behind him because he wants to close out the Grand Slam, but
he's not good at the Masters.
Trending Max Homa. I'm gonna go with that.
I'm out on Rahm because we haven't seen him play quality golf since he left with food poisoning. Riff going, and then I'm out on Scotty because I think it's just too hard to go back to back. But man, is that guy playing some really good golf. And then Rory, I just don't think he has the juice to complete the Grand Slam. I really don't. And to have all these LIV guys and all these people here, it's just going to be such a distraction. So I'm gonna leave that as a teaser and not give you my pick. Tell you if you guys don't think it is.
Couple of things that I would, as I go back to the LIV Tucson event. Here was your top 5. None of these guys really move the needle for me. Danny Lee, Carlos Ortiz, Brendan Steele, Louis Oosthuizen, and then Charles Howell III took 5th. We don't really get to 13th place, Dustin Johnson, where I feel like there's a potential contender. Patrick Reed is 18th. He's obviously got a Masters.
Oh, that'd be awesome to see him win it again.
Bubba Watson, 23rd. He has 2 Masters under his belt. Paul Casey's played well here. Phil took 32nd. Where's Cam? Did I miss Cam Smith? Did I just miss
He's
Cam
number
Smith?
2, ain't he?
Oh my gosh, where did he land in the Tucson event? Oh, 26th.
Oh.
He took 26th in the Tucson event. So these guys are playing okay. He finished at 2 under. The winner was 9 under. I don't know. Like the guys at the top of the last LIV Tucson event, don't really move the needle for me. But at the same time, who cares about that one? This is they're on a tour where it's just about ramping up to be your best at the right time. And we will have to see what happens in Orlando, because I'd be a little bit concerned, if I were the PGA Tour guys, if this event ends with like Koepka, Smith, and Dustin Johnson as your top 3. You know what I mean?
It'd be fun. But save it.
I know. It's hard not to. Can we just, for a couple of seconds here, talk about the name of the course that they're playing at Orange County National? Crooked Cat. The Crooked Cat course at Orange County National. They have another one. It's a 36-hole venue that doesn't have as cool of a name, but they're playing the Crooked Cat. Scorecard quickly, 7,300 yards. Not a single par 3 less than 200 yards, which is just beastly.
Scary.
Looking forward to checking in on that Friday through Sunday on the CW. So, I don't know. Prep for the Masters, man. Let's come back for more.
It's going to be great. All right. So next week we'll see you guys for the Masters. I don't got anything else. Nate, you got anything else?
Nothing from me. Are we gonna have some Masters pools? Are we gonna be chatting some of our individual bets and some things?
Yeah. I got some things going. So yeah, I'm pumped for that. So
all right,
check back next week for that. We're gonna try and get a few more than one podcast out next week, just so we can keep you guys up to speed and get some more content out there for everyone to check out. All that fun stuff. As always, like, subscribe, follow, comment, interact, do all that fun stuff. If you've even made it this far into our podcast, which you probably haven't, but thanks for those who stuck around.
Go Ricky Fowler.